The theme of my prop box is ocean. I did that because I thought ocean was a broad enough topic that I could do 11 activities and wouldn't be redundant. I picked up some books in the library. In the Ocean, Never Touch a Piranha, One Yellow Fish, Shark Block, and Never Touch a Shark. Each of my activities has a book that goes along with it because I always think it's easier to do that if you can get the kids interested in a story and then do the activity. So for science, I did Sink or Float, and my book is Things That Float and Things That Don't. And you can get that on Amazon or the library. But my prop box includes a tub, I've got a rock, a fish toy, a dolphin toy, some pom-poms, a seashell, a rubber duck, and then the child's going to be given a Sink or Float data sheet. And all it says is the name of the item, their guess, which, we're using the word hypothesis, but then I'll explain to the children it's a guess. Whether it'll sink or float, and then we'll fill the tub with water, and one by one item, we'll check and see if their hypothesis is correct. The next one is a sandcastle block build. The book doing with that is Ladybug Girl at the Beach. Again, another library book. I have all different colors, sizes, shapes of blocks for them to build. We're going to read the book. She builds a sandcastle in the book. So then I'm going to have the children try to build a sandcastle, and we're going to talk about the shapes of the blocks, the number of the blocks that they used. We're going to have sticks and rocks and seashells for them to be able to decorate their sandcastle when they're done building it. The next one is math. It's called Feed the Shark. I have the book One Lonely Fish. It's a counting book that the fish get bigger as they eat each other, which is perfect because Feed the Shark is you are feeding the shark fish. And I made 4 of the containers. You take a little Pringles can, hot glue a shark to it. You put a number on the shark's forehead. And then you take little fish that you've laminated, and they have to match the number of dots on the fish to the shark. You just make sure when you're making this that the fish don't match the color of the shark, because then you don't know if they're matching the dots to the number itself. They're just matching colors. The next activity is language and literacy, which I did I Spy in the Ocean of Flannel Board. And I Spy in the Ocean is just a book that goes through the letters that you spell ocean with, and then it goes to an animal, such as O for octopus. So then you've got an octopus that the children are going to match the flannel board to the book and put it on the actual board itself. And you go through the letters in the word ocean, and we've got an octopus, a crab, an eel, do not make fun of how the eel looks, an angelfish, and a nurse shark for ocean. The next activity is for art. I have done a jellyfish salt painting. So I'm going to start by reading the book Ocean Life. And it talks about a couple different ocean animals in there, but we're going to focus on, let's see if I can even find the page, the jellyfish page when we get to that one. I'm going to let the kids know they don't have to choose a jellyfish, but that's what I chose. You take cardstock, white glue, you decide whatever animal you want, and the children get to pick their animal or make up something, it doesn't matter. You sprinkle the salt in the glue, take colored water in a bowl, and we're doing it for the, is this fine motor? This is art. It's fine motor though too. They're taking the pipette, sucking up the water and dripping it onto the, as I'm losing salt, dripping it onto the salt, but you see how it spreads, and you talk to the children of how the salt crystals are absorbing the water and spreading it. And that is their art project. The next one is dramatic play. I made this one a family affair. We're doing an under the ocean thing. And my book I am reading is Shark Bite, and it talks about a shark who isn't really mean and wants to make friends, and everybody's scared of him. So you talk about that with the children. And then I had my mother make a shark costume because that's the cool kind of mom she is. And I'm actually taking this to my classroom, but it comes with a tail and a hood and a full body. And we're going to put, oh, here's the head with the teeth. We are going to put 2 blue tablecloths down on the floor. We'll tape them down, and that's our ocean floor. The children can either dress up like the shark in the shark costume. They can use the goggles and dress up as a diver. But inside, on the ocean floor, there will be our little floating sea animals. We've got some plastic toy animals. There are yet more seashells. And they can pretend play making friends with the ocean animals just like the sharks were. The next one is social studies. It's called a baby and mama family match. Well, baby and family match. We're going to start by reading Are You My Mother? I love the book, by the way. And then the children are going to be shown different pictures, but I'm going to mix them up like a human and a fish. And what we want to do is have the children match the baby to the adult, and then we're going to talk about families. And, you know, well, what is your family made of? And families are different. And then we're going to have the children draw a picture of their family. The next activity is a fine motor skill. It is called a turtle pom-pom sort. I'm going to start by reading the book, I Love You Even When You're Crabby, which I love this, especially when Miss Heather is crabby in her classroom. We read this book a lot. I've taken Slurpee lids and you hot glue them down to the turtles. And you're having the children do a color match with the turtles, and you've got pom-poms. But what they do is you're talking about the pincer grip. The pincer grip of the crab in the book, the pincer grip of the kids gripping it, and they're going to sort the pom-poms into the Slurpee lids. So it's a 2-for-1 activity, fine motor and color sorting. Large motor. I am doing a starfish beanbag toss. Starts by reading the book Ocean Creatures. This is more of a factual book than a story, but it'll tell you about starfish and seahorses and whatnot. So then once we read that, I'm going to throw a seashell at myself. I'm going to set up these buckets with starfish on them. And the children will be given 2 bean bags, and we're going to underhand toss and try to see how many buckets they can knock down. And you can vary how close or how far they are to the buckets depending on the needs of the child. The next one is my sensory table. I am going to borrow the bucket from science, the tub, so my tub. Gonna put sand in it. I was not bringing the whole 2 pounds of sand from my classroom, so we got a little container of sand, but just imagine it's a larger container of sand. We're gonna start by reading There Might Be Lobsters in the book. She, again, is building a sand castle. She's playing in the sand. She's swimming. So we'll be talking with the children about what do you expect to see or feel when you're at the beach. So then we have Again, seashells, rocks. We've got shovels for them to dig with. Little plastic toys of different sea animals. We have little containers shaped like sea animals. I have measuring cups. I have different containers they can fill and pour with. I have a shovel. And then we'll talk about how different things feel when we're going through the sand table itself. And my last one is cooking, which I absolutely had the best time with because I got to make cookies. I did a rainbow fish cookie with my grandmother's cookie recipe. So the children will be reading Rainbow Fish. We'll be talking about how Rainbow Fish ends up sharing his scales. Then the children will each be given a bowl and pre-measured ingredients, and I will go step by step in front of them pre-measuring the ingredients. And if anyone wants the recipe, I'm more than happy to give it to you. But the children will mix their own stuff. We'll roll out the dough. We'll cut the dough out. I will bake it myself. I don't like children this young around the oven. But then the children will be given icing and an icing spreader. See how pretty it is. And they get to make their own rainbow fish. All right, thank you for watching my projects.